Warning. The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. And even then, I fail a lot. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited, pre-recorded videos instead. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, hello there. Oh my goodness. I was afraid the cat was going to end up hanging out as well, being the little pest that he is. I ended up getting a new bookcase, so I was able to like really clear off my table and clear off some space here. And the cat's been taking advantage and hanging out in this space. But the thing is, though, he doesn't like loud noises. So the second I start speaking, he goes away. Unlike Einstein, who starts talking the second he hears me talking, and especially if we're live. But oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's see who's joining. Oh, hello, Efrain. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, I guess we're all still waking up. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a blah Wednesday. Everyone, I think, is still hungover from New York Comic Con this past weekend. I wasn't even there, and I feel a little hungover from it, but that's because I got other things going on. So so yes, and I see you, my beautiful eyeball people, watching me, for us, me, all of us, the royal we from regions beyond. If you're joining me from Facebook, come on over to YouTube and join the sexy people in the chat. It's or oh hey Phil, hello. Keep them company. Keep Efrain, Phil, and Jim O'Reilly company. Hello. It's a lot easier for us to be able to have a conversation on YouTube, because sometimes Facebook just tends to act up, and although it hasn't done that in a while, but I've never had a problem with YouTube itself. So and while you're here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever any of my shows go live. So I guess let me get at least the intro started before Efrain rings the bell to remind me. So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
I have anxiety. That means I'm in my shell and have a hard time expressing myself. I find it difficult to engage with others. So everyone shut the up, because my anxiety is up here right now.
Up here. Let's see. I swear, really. And I am known for my medieval fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter on Monday with the brand new trade paperback for Volume 1 of Tears of the Mother, which is the current storyline, which continues directly from the original Thieves Quest storyline. The link is in the chat and in the show notes for the pre-launch page. So make sure you sign up so you get notified when the campaign goes live. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy drama Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which also returns to Kickstarter early 2025. With issue 9 that I am currently working on. I am halfway through completing the issue, so I think we're on track for that. So hopefully by around January, it will go live as well. I am also a co-host with Nita Lanning on the Raging to the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network. So it's conversations, us having conversations mostly about indie comics and whatever else tickles our fancy at that moment. So, and also you can read my comics online now on on Webtoon. You can read both Eagle Raven and Tall Tales on Webtoon. The first issues for both of these comics have just completed on Webtoon. And also, you can read my comics as well at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, right here, and Tall Tales Online, TAILS Online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube if you're joining us from Twitch as well. You can check me out here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art. And like I said, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to make the algorithm gods happy. So there we go. So let's see who else is joining us. Oh yeah, Jim says, I think everyone's anxiety is up there with you. Yes, yeah. Oh hey, Gothic Lolita, hello. Yeah, like I said, it's like, San Diego, New York Comic Con just finished this weekend. And from what it's really funny because from the videos and the updates that I was seeing, I thought everybody was having a good time, but it seems like no, it was kind of a weird show. I guess it's like I haven't been to a convention in a while, especially New York Comic Con. I haven't been there in years. So I don't know like what the vibe is like that, is there? Although, yeah, definitely anxiety inducing. Yeah. Yeah, but it seems like that there was something weird going on this year where it's like they had like all the big companies at both ends, right? So it's like on both ends of the convention center, and like everybody else was kind of like in the middle. And it seems, I don't know, it just seems like especially like small press got really ignored this year, like unless it's like you had like some major credits or something. People were just walking on by just trying to like collect freebies and stuff. So I mean, it's like, I don't know, I mean, I don't know, it's like because I watched the videos and I thought that everybody was probably like in the midst of it, you're having a good time, but then it's like at the end of the day when you kind of get to like look back and count your money and all that stuff, it's like, oh wait, maybe we didn't do so well, which is pretty weird. But it's like, I don't know, is it really surprising? I mean, I've been seeing a lot of talk about creators avoiding big shows altogether and just trying to stick with I bit my cheek and it and it kind of hurts a little bit. So that they're talking about like staying away from large shows from now on and just sticking with like more local, smaller shows where it's a lot easier for like individual artists to stand out, especially especially in a convention scene that's not in a comic book convention scene that's not really about comics much anymore. So I don't know, maybe it's all connected somehow. Because I've been kind of hearing the same thing from these anime show artist alley girls that I watch on YouTube, where it's like they're saying that that they're kind of preferring smaller shows, more local shows to like the real monsters. Although so far everybody who is at Anime X says that they've made a lot of money, that's like their top show. So I guess your mileage may vary. But I don't know. There's some days that I wish that I miss doing shows, and then I kind of think more about it. It's like, oh no, I really don't. I really don't. Like I was talking about this on the vlog the other day, where it's like, oh hey Vess, hello. Oh hey Michael, hey, and Vess is here. Hello Kevin, hello Dumbledore, hello, welcome, hello. Speaking of having a good time at 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 New York Comic Con. Unfortunately, Vess, I couldn't make it to New York Comic Con. I don't. It just didn't work out. I was trying to get like a badge from somebody like several months ago, and it just didn't work out. And it's like I just didn't. But it was good that it looked like you had a really good time. I mean, that photo that you got with that voice actor was pretty funny. And it's like it must be nice to know that he really liked the pop that you made. I mean, you were putting in a lot of effort. You're putting a lot of effort into it. So it's just really nice to see, I mean, that's a really funny photo. I really like it. So you know. So I'm really glad you had a good time there. Maybe next time, next time, next, because like I said, so we were talking about this on the vlog the other day, where actually my favorite part of a convention is actually setup. I love setup. That's my favorite part. I love putting together the table. I love putting together like the wire grids. I mean, watching enough of these Artist Alley girl videos, from anime shows, like I was like thinking, it's like, oh, it's like I could get, it's like if I can get some foam board and something and gets like some contact paper that looks like stone, maybe I can I can make the grids look like a little castle on the table, and just try to I don't know, it was very DIY, like trying to like make this stuff up, like what would a really like aesthetic table look like. And that's where I get most of my interest, is that moment when I'm setting up, because the second the doors open, they announce the show's open, my anxiety goes through the roof and I don't want to talk to anybody. I mean, really, it's at that moment that I go, you know what? I'd rather be home right now. So yeah, so it's kind of tough doing conventions for me. It's like, because it's like, gosh, I can't, like, Baltimore Comic Con was the last convention I was at, and it's like I was so hyped up for that show, and it let me down so hard that it certainly didn't help in trying to convince me to go back to conventions again. That's for sure. Although this year everyone was saying they had a good time. Because because now they didn't put on the same weekend as SPX and some Ravens Orioles game. Yeah. And it's like, so it's like, conventions is definitely like you really have to be like into it, and here's the thing too, especially for me, I make, it's like doing a Kickstarter is so much, it's a better investment of my time than going to a convention, and it's like, like the House of Bob sketchbook campaign, I made what like $7,000 on that campaign. And I can't remember the last time I made that kind of money at a convention. I don't think, I mean, really, it's like, maybe back when I was doing furry conventions, before 2000, in the 90s, maybe, and even then, it's like, you really, you kind of have to have the stomach for it, I think. I mean, it's like because it's like that's where you really have to become a salesperson. And I think like a lot of us creators, we have a hard time stepping into that role, and which is ironic coming from somebody who worked in low end retail for a lot of years. But you're gonna try to, I mean, I think it's a good thing to do. It's just that, I think I'm way past my expiration date with them. That's why. I mean, it's like, yeah, when you're young and you have the energy, doing conventions is actually, it can be pretty fun. But I mean, I'm at a point now where it's like I've been over it. I mean, there was like a time where we were literally doing a convention a week. I mean, we had a pretty grueling schedule. Like we would do, at least twice a month, but like especially during the summer where it's like, where you would have a show a week, and that's what we would do. So, maybe I kind of got all that out of my system. But all of you who are going to be doing your first shows and everything, the best of luck for everybody, because it's like, yeah, it's like, if because it's like, what, there's a lot of people who do enjoy it. They enjoy the fact that that's how you get to meet people and engage how people react to your work. And like I said too, I really do like the DIY aspect of creating the perfect table setup. I really, really, that's the part I love the most about it. It's like looking at all the display options, getting table runners done, getting the right tablecloth, putting together the grid cubes to make, getting the banners, it's like, yeah, that was the part that I always enjoyed the most. But so I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. We'll see for next year. We'll see. I always say that, but I don't know. It's tough, But the thing is, though, it's like there's also been like this discussion lately too that I've been seeing online about how conventions really is the best way to build your audience. And also it's like what one guy was talking about. This guy, he was more like, he does more like art fairs because he makes his own sculptures and pottery. And he was talking about how, what makes conventions important for him is that he gets to see in real time how people react to his products. And especially like products that he thinks are going to do really well, and then they turned out to be a dud. Like there was like one particular cup that he was talking about that he made, and he thought it was like really cool, and he thought people would like it, and nobody did. So so at least, when you're making stuff like that, you can kind of like pivot really quickly. But I mean, when you're doing something like comics, there is no real pivoting. I mean, you come to a convention and you see Tall Tales on the table, and if you're not into this, you're not into this. But if you are into this, my Kickstarter for this book, Volume 1, Tears the Mother, nice segue. It goes live. It's the first 4 issues of this 8-issue limited series. So as you can see, the proof is done. It's ready to go. Like I said, the link is in the chat and in the show notes for the pre-launch page. But it's like, if you're, it's like if I'm at a convention and someone says, "Oh, I'm not really into furries," there's nothing I can do about that. So that kind of one-on-one reaction doesn't really do anything for me. Although it is kind of interesting to see like what artwork or what attracts people to your table. Like what is it that made them stop? What is it that made them like, oh, which artwork kind of did it? And at least that you can kind of adjust. If it turns out that maybe there's a particular artwork that everybody gravitates to, maybe that's the thing you should put on your poster or on your banner or something. So there's like that. I mean, yeah, I guess there's a lot everybody can try to figure out, with conventions and being, also it's supposed to help with your interpersonal skills as well, talking to everybody. But I don't know. It's like, considering that most comic book creators are introverts, it's kind of like hard, tiring. It's like my battery runs out really, really fast. I mean, talk about like no spoons. I don't even forget having no spoons. I have no kitchen drawer. I'm not even in the kitchen, type of thing. And it really like, and it's really, especially what show was they were saying that it was like a 12-hour show. It was one of the anime conventions. And the thing is, I did a convention, I think it was Anime Boston, where they had the artist alley open for 12 hours. Usually, like a show is like 8 hours essentially. You know, it's like, you know, you're like, okay, it's like from 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 or something, right? But there was like, I think it was Anime Boston, where it's like their artist alley was like from 9 in the morning to 11 p.m. That was a rough one. I mean, I think we were able to make it like 9 to, yeah, I think we were able to make it like 10 to 9, you know, or something like that. Like if, you know, you figure it opens at 10 or 11. Yeah, we made it till like 9 p.m. We couldn't stay the extra 2 hours. I mean, it was grueling, you know. You know, and you think, you know, and you would think that, oh, you're just sitting down and drawing and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, how hard could it be? It's like, yeah, for some reason, at a convention, like at home, I could do those hours easy. But at a convention, it's like I hit a wall really fast, you know, and it's like just something, you know, just something to like watch out for, you know, those really long hours, you know, especially at anime conventions, you know. I don't think they're that common, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, you know, like the long artist alley hours. My only concern though with leaving early is that if the ballroom is open, because this was in a ballroom, and it's like, well, if we left early, they still had people coming in and out of the room, and it was just like, how secure was our stuff? You know, if the ballroom's still open. Because in the end, that's why we stayed as long as we could, because it's like, you know, it's like, you know, but in the end, we just left. And I don't know. I think that there also comes a point too where we just like, it doesn't, you know, it's like we kind of stop caring if people steal from our table. I know in Baltimore at this last one, I had a sketchbook, a furry sketchbook, stolen from my table. It was actually kind of funny. I don't know why I found it funny. I think of all the stuff on the table, it had to be the furry sketchbook. That got stolen, you know, and it's just, I don't know, it was just kind of funny. But you know, it is what it is, you know. I mean, I know that, you know, I don't, technically I shouldn't be laughing about people being thieves, but I don't know. It's like it's such, you know, it's such a I don't know. I don't know. It was, I don't know. It's just really funny what people decide they want to steal or not. So I don't know. So today, speaking of mentioning House of Bob and furry sketchbooks. So today I'm going to be working on some traditional artwork. As opposed to digital, working in Clip Studio Paint, like I've been doing in these past couple of hey Allison, at these past couple of episodes when I was supposed to. I mean, I haven't been doing my stream as much as I should. Like I said, I've had like some things going on that, I mean, really, it kind of sucks the life out of me having to deal with it. But I don't know. Hey, Michael. I think I saw you, Michael. I think I saw you already. But hello again. You know, it's like that. There's just some things that kind. But today I really felt the need to do a live stream. So like I said, so today we're going to be working on some House of Bob commissions. I'm going to try to keep it as clean as possible for YouTube. Probably what we'll do is avoid inking in certain parts so they don't kind of like stand out on the screen. But I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. You know? So we're going to be working on that. These are commissions that people ordered through the House of Bob sketchbook campaign. I just want to thank everybody who pledged to that campaign. Half the orders. If you didn't order a commission, you should have gotten your sketchbooks by now. So everybody that's left over, if you haven't received it, it's because you ordered a commission and I'm working on it. So I'm trying to get all the random pieces done before the end of the month to get all those out. And then for November, I want to concentrate on the more customized pieces, people asking more for fan art, the very specific requests. And then for December is when I want to concentrate on the really big customized pieces. I had a $500 level where people could pretty much order whatever they wanted, and it's like more elaborate pieces. And so I got a couple of those as well. So those will be done in December, so I could really, really concentrate on them. But yeah, so like I said, Tall Tales, the trade paperback, volume 1 trade paperback, Tears of the Mother. This will be on Kickstarter on Monday. So link is in the show notes. So let me just put this aside. There we go. So yeah, so that's pretty much. Allison's prepping her Kickstarter as well. Yeah, that's not so much fun. I don't really like. It's a lot of tedium. I think that if Kickstarter could figure out a way for, like, they figured out how for us to import duplicate levels. But what I really need them to do is to allow us to import items. The catalog of stuff that you have to have in the campaign, because that stuff is a lot of repetition, a lot of repetitive things that I have to type in. And usually what I do is I have to pre-do kind of like a spreadsheet of everything that I'm going to have in the campaign. And then I copy and paste it into the items, so that at least I get that main list done, and then I can do the add-ons, and then I can do the levels, because you need to have all your items in first before they allow you to do anything else. If they could just allow us to either upload a list or just copy the items from a previous campaign, because with mine, the items are pretty much identical from campaign to campaign with some minor differences. But yeah, it's like putting together a Kickstarter is tedium. It's absolute tedium. So I don't envy you at all for that. Because what it is that they're not used to. I mean, Kickstarter is mostly people who do one and dones. It's like they put up their Yeti blender cooler thing, and then that's the only Kickstarter. They raise 17 million, and then that's the only Kickstarter they ever run, right? But with us, it's like we're doing a lot of repetitive campaigns. Speaking of repetitive, and I guess there's just not a priority to get a lot of these updates for us, because I think comics doesn't even make up 5% of Kickstarter's revenue. So we are we're down there, so but if there was something that I wish a Kickstarter would do is allow us to copy the items from the previous campaign, right? All right, so let me set up for this for this. So let me see. So let me see how awkward this is going to be. So because my mic is going to be completely in the shot. Yeah, it's either on my, it's either going to be on my smaller screen, or it's okay. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Hold on. That's why I put a sticker on it. So it's not that, it's not that bad looking. So this is one of many of the sketches that I am working on for House of Bob, for the House of Bob campaign. I'll put that there. So I don't know if you can kind of see it. The blue line is really light because I was going to ink it in, so I didn't, but yeah, there we go. Right. So, so hopefully we won't get, like I said, it's kind of light. So I'll just make sure to not ink in certain places so that we don't okay. So let's see. Some well, I don't know what you mean. What you're referencing. So yeah, so this is a reward commission for my House of Bob campaign. Oh, Kyfern is in the house. And so this is the original sketch that I'm going to be inking today. And actually, and what I did was I branded the back of the commission of the paper, so that no matter what happens, they always know where the original piece came from. So I have a Pixma. I have my oversized Pixma, and I have a smaller one, and I was able to run this paper through it, so I was able to brand it. So I was pretty yes, it's a sketch that someone commissioned, on the campaign. I have about 33 commissions for the campaign that I have to do. So so it's been a while since I did some you miss. Oh, don't worry. There's going to be. I'm going to make sure to run another House of Bob campaign, in next year, so that so it's like so because I'm going to be releasing more sketchbooks, and also that's going to be pretty much the only way people can get commissions or sketches. So yeah, I'm going to make sure to run another one next year. So you will definitely know. So yes, I just got to get my tissue because it's been a while since I inked anything because I've just been working digitally all this time, and I had to clean these rapidographs. It's been a while since I've used them, and it was just like so messy. They were all the ink had dried, and we want the older sketches back from the 90s. Yeah, I have to go through my my art box, and I know I have like a bunch of them that I can probably collect. A lot of the older stuff that I can collect into books, into new sketchbooks as well. So yeah, so I just want to keep I want to keep the sketchbooks moving. Yeah, but definitely that's part of the plan, to get some like to put back a lot of the older pieces that I did, back in circulation. The problem is that there's so much artwork that I know I don't have anymore. I don't know that. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I went through a phase and I kind of got rid of stuff thinking, oh, I don't need this. I don't need this. And I sold off the artwork already, and it's a mess. So, yes, but I'm pretty sure I still have plenty. Mm-hmm. Oh, rat swordswoman showing off that butter. Yeah, I think I might know what piece you're talking about. Like I said, I would have to go through the box to find everything. Just put together like just put together sketchbooks of everything. But it's like, so I had to like, it was, I had to like really clean out these pens, and it's like, oh, I forgot what this was like. I forgot what this is like. So let's see. So let me get the music started here. So we're back on Epidemic Sound. We're using their pop genre playlist. So now, because now, just to warn everybody, because I'm going to be on my table and the angle of the screen, I might not see everybody's comments as they pop up. So if you comment and it seems like I haven't seen it, it's because I really haven't seen it, because I'll be here and the screen is actually kind of like a little behind me now. So, so just be a little patient. There are going to be times when I'm going to turn and I'll see, whatever new comments pop up. So, okay. So as always, if the music's a little too loud, if it sounds like I'm competing with it, just tell me and I'll lower the volume on it. But I think that it sounds okay in my ears, so I think we should be okay. Let's see. Also, I just want to make sure that my voice sounded like a little odd. Yeah. Because the mic was pointed a little too far over there. So, okay, I think I should sound better now. Okay, kind of, sorta. Okay, so let's kind of get this started here. So let's see. So just before I went, started the stream. So I was watching a video, a commentary video. I guess so there's this artist that I watch. One of the videos channels that I watch is a woman named Kelsey Rodriguez, and I've been following her for a while. And I guess some newbie decided they were going to try to make their name on her back on YouTube. So this guy posted a video where pretty much he was accusing all these successful artists on YouTube for being scammers. And it was a very strange accusation because he was kind of like saying, it's like, oh, they're like running pyramid schemes or something. And I don't know, it was just a very strange accusation because it's just nobody is doing anything like that. But so the gist of it was that, so he made this video where he was talking about how he was doing videos about his artwork. He was doing all these videos about his inspirations, and just, being like, just doing a creative channel. And he did it for about a year and was just not getting any traction. He was especially upset about spending time doing this kind of like mini documentary on Charles Schulz. And he went to, I think, like the Charles Schulz Museum, and I don't know. It's like he did like this whole thing. Oh, Michael. Okay, Michael says that he saw the accusation video and it was weird. Yeah, it was kind of weird. And and he was really, so he did this Charles Schulz video that he was sure was going to blow up, and it didn't. So after, like really studying the algorithm and studying other people's videos and, like what was successful and what wasn't, he decided to make this accusation video. And that was the video that took off. Everybody saw this video, right? And well, if and it's like, and what was funny was that he resented the fact that the video took off, because it's like, oh, I spent a year making art videos, but it's this bullshit accusation video is what's getting me the attention. And it's like, well, yeah, that's how the algorithm works. So because I am no stranger to that phenomenon. When I was starting, when I was like really working, well, not, I was, when I was doing my more YouTube videos, um, I was doing like a combination of art videos, and I had a couple of, I guess, like kind of like ranty commentary videos. Um, and and the thing is though, is that those are the ones that kind of got attention. Um, Aside from my most popular video on my YouTube channel being how to make bookmarks for Artist Alley, now it's like you don't even need to do that. I don't know if anybody hand makes anything anymore for Artist Alley. Where's my ruler? I'm missing a ruler. You know what? I'll just continue inking everything else. One, I guess like one of my more infamous videos is a video where I kind of play on the whole like, stop drawing that anime crap. That's the name of the video, but the title is clickbait because that's not what I talk about in the video. It's not. I'm talking, because it's a video about the teachers who tell their students stop drawing that anime crap, and then me dissecting what the real thing that they're saying. It's like what's the real thing that these teachers are saying when they say stop drawing that anime crap. Although now if I were to do that video again, the answer is actually a lot more obvious, and that your teachers were racist, but that's that's neither here nor there right now. That's just how that would be the conclusion I would make now. But the point of the video is that, it's not that your teachers were really telling you or really concerned about you drawing anime. It's just that they were concerned about you drawing a certain style without knowing your fundamentals. But like I said, now if I were to do that video again, it's actually because your teachers were racist. Because yeah. But but that video got like a ton of comments on it, and after a while, it's like I realized that a lot of the comments were from people who just read the title and just commented based on the title. Pretty much, I got called I got called asshole a lot, and I go, you didn't watch the video, so why should I care if you're calling me an asshole or not, right? So it's like, okay, whatever. And then I just kept it moving, and I think like it still gets commentary to this day. But it was just so stupid, so but the engagement was killer though. The engagement was really good. Let's see. Okai Fern says this is all back then. Now in today's world, anime is now being shown more by other drawers. Yeah, and they believe cartoons more superior to anime. Yeah, that's what it was. It was more a superiority complex than it was an actual concern for your artistic fundamentals, especially the way that they would just dismiss the entire genre. So yeah, it was very unserious. These teachers are very unserious. But yeah, it's like, yeah, the entire thing is like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's the video where everybody calls me an asshole in the comments. Like, it's not that big of a deal, because like I said, I know they didn't watch the video, so the comments are telling me more about them than they are about me. So so engagement, right? So so the engagement was like really good on that video because of that. And of course, YouTube wanted me, when you look at the engagement and the numbers and everything, it's like, yeah, those are the videos that YouTube wanted me to make. But I made a conscious decision not to do that because I wasn't interested in being known for that type of content. I wanted to be an artist on YouTube, not a bitchy person on YouTube. There was plenty of those, plenty of people better at that than I am, believe it or not. So it's like I was not interested in taking up that mantle. So I mean, so that's what it was. So it's like I just didn't do any more of those types of videos and left it at that. I mean, yeah, YouTube was very unhappy with me for making that decision, but it's like, what do I care? I mean, it's like, it's like that's not my thing. That's not what I want to be known for. I don't want to be known for as, oh, that's that asshole on the internet, on YouTube that bitches about everything. I don't want to be known as that. So that's what it is. And if it means that I have very slow growth as a response, that's the consequence I have to live with, So this guy made this entire video, right, where it's like he's calling out these successful artists on YouTube. And here's the funny thing, because the only thing that I could really understand from his video is that, like, he was accusing them of selling an art lifestyle that didn't exist, right? And the only thing that I could think of is like, son, do you know how this works? I mean, it's like I had that very foghorn leghorn where it's like, son, son, do you know how this works? Do you know what an art career actually looks like? And like he was actually like criticizing Kelsey and some other YouTubers for pretty much like, oh, you don't make money. You're not really making money off of your artwork. You're making money off of everything else but your artwork. So that doesn't count as being a successful artist on the internet. That doesn't count. Right. And again, that whole like, son, do you understand how this works? Oh, Allison says, I'm a full-time starving artist. And and it was just like, what was he really complaining about? And it's like, well, so here's this thing this concept that I'm trying to percolate, right? That after watching this video, where they probably will talk about it on Friday, I'm not sure, but yeah, what does it mean to be a successful artist? Like, what does it mean to be like living off of your artwork? Yeah, he pretty much, Allison, he is. But it's like, so the question is, it's like, what does it mean really to be a successful artist, to be living off of your artwork? And what is that supposed to look like? And judging from this video, right? So the thing that I can kind of like get out of it is that his definition of being a successful artist is that all you're doing is drawing art. You're drawing, you're creating, and you're not. That's where you get a majority of your money from, right? But again, what does that look like? What does that even mean? Because, okay, like someone like Kelsey, right? Like her whole thing, the reason why I watch her is because she talks about marketing from an artist's perspective, right? Because I watch like these two salespeople on Facebook, you know, they on Instagram. I call them Sales Ken and Sales Barbie. They're two separate people, but you know, and they're just in sales. Like they literally could be selling anything from Bugattis to weed killer. Like they just sales to them. Sales is sales is sales. If you're a salesperson, you could pretty much sell anything, right? It's very generic advice, right? But with with Kelsey though, she frames her advice from an artist's perspective. So I'm able to kind of like have a better sense of what selling as an artist looks like. And the thing is that she talks about how, you know, it's like, okay, so what do you do? It's like, okay, so it's like, yeah, you could sell your prints. You know, you can make art and sell copies of your art online, you know, the whole like Artist Alley girly thing. You could do that, right? But then she talks about like other sources of income, you know, like, oh, it's like you get AdSense, you get sponsorships, you sell you know, she sells Notion templates. I don't know what like scheduling templates for artists, you know, on, you know, she creates YouTube videos. And according, you know, and it's very apparent that's where her money is coming from. And this kid, because in the end, that's what he is, he was kind of like dismissing her as like, oh, you're not an artist. You're a marketer who happens to be an artist. And you're kind of tricking people into thinking that they can be successful as an artist when really what you're selling is how to be successful as a marketer. And well, I would love for this kid to answer, how do I separate my artwork from the marketing? Jim says, because everyone's measure of success is different, it's very difficult to answer that question in a general way. Well, right, yeah. You know, because it's like what I feel makes me successful is different than what from you think makes you successful, what Allison makes her successful. And you know, and it's like, you know, and he was like saying, you know, so yeah, so that's my question. It's like, well, how do I separate the art from the yeah, it's like those Instagram artists seems like they're living their best life selling their art, right? But you see, the thing is though, is that from what I was understanding from this guy's critique was that if you're selling, like, if you're making your money from anywhere else but your artwork, you're not making a living as an artist. But like I said, it's like, well, how do I separate my art from my marketing? Like, because it's like people, it's like, okay, it's like Kelsey, the reason why you know her is because she does YouTube videos. And because of her YouTube videos, she's able to sell her artwork. So now she has an entire art business. It's kind of, you know, it's like you can't separate one thing from another. Like in our case, right? Like, you know, making comics mostly, right? And it's like, what's the number one thing I keep talking about on the vlogs? It's the audience. You need an audience to sell to. You can't just show up in a space and go, here's my comic, and then all of a sudden expect to blow up. That's not how that works. It very rarely happens. And when it does, there's usually it takes a lot of years to become an overnight success. So, so it's like, yeah, so it's like so it's like, yeah, so I had to put my comic on Kickstarter, which helped me start building an audience, right? And then I have the vlogs, I have this live stream that helps, that definitely helped building my audience, right? You build a mailing list. It's like, yeah, and it's like, so I don't understand how he thinks that all this is separate from the artwork, that I'm selling, or the books that I'm trying to sell. So it was just like, I mean, if anything, the weirdest thing that I could come up with this kid was that the thing that he was complaining about the most is that these people's successes, these people as a success is giving other artists a false hope. Like, in the end, he's calling them scammers because they're selling a hope that you too could be successful as an artist online. And it was just like it's like, really? It's like, I mean, it was just a very strange thing to argue, that it's like, because here's the thing in sales, right? Especially when I'm watching Sales Ken and Sales Barbie, right? Like, the Sales Ken says, it's like, look, when you're selling a house, are you really selling, 4 walls and a roof? Are you really selling that? Is that what you're selling? Maybe literally you're selling 4 walls and a roof. But what you're actually selling is the idea of a home. You're not really selling a house. A salesperson sells the idea of something, not really the thing that they're selling, right? At least in terms of successful salespeople. You're not talking, your selling points are not, it's like, it has 4 walls and a roof. Your selling points are, look at this place where you're going to raise your family. Look at this place that you can call your own, right? Those are ideas. Those are the ideas of a place. It's like, it's how nostalgia gets monetized. Are they really selling a movie like the new Transformers movie, or are they selling you your childhood back to you? Right? What's the marketing really? And that's kind of, I think that's what that guy wasn't understanding, that it's not that they're selling. It's like, yeah, they're selling. Well, technically they're not selling anything. We're just watching their videos for free online. Juju Speaks says, but every artist I've ever talked to says high sales or views are not guaranteed. Absolutely. Because it's like, look, you could copy Kelsey Rodriguez every step that she does, and you will probably not see a fraction of the success that she has. Like, really, you could pick any person that you consider successful, and you can copy them every single step of the way, and you will not see the the same success, because sometimes it's not the thing that they do. Timing has everything to do with it. Sometimes being at the right place at the right time, that it's like, that there was a niche. which really, in the end, that's how I found her, because I was looking for salespeople from an artist's perspective, and not a lot of people were doing that. And Kelsey was the only one that I could find doing that, and I've been following her since. Now I could probably find a lot more artists doing that, where it's like, and honestly, it's like, yeah, that's how you find the, oh, the studio vlogs and how much money I make in a day and how to start an art business on YouTube. Right now, you can kind of like, that niche is growing. It's a lot easier for me to find, like, artists on, being successful on social media than maybe like 5 years ago. So it's like, timing has a lot to do with it. As you know, and it's like, yeah, just because you do every doesn't mean it guarantees anything. Like, the one thing that we talk about a lot on the vlogs is there is a lot of like, there's like this love-hate relationship with Brian Pulido. He does Lady Death. He does, he regularly makes, like, this man, he launches a campaign and within 20 minutes he's at 6 figures already. Like that's how big his audience is. And people have a love-hate relationship with him, that it's like, it's like, oh, here's a guy that really turned making comics into a viable business. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's Lady Death. It's just a half-naked chick on the cover. Oh, how hard is that? And it's like, bro, it's hard. It's difficult because, one, you don't have the 30-plus career that Pulido does. Because these guys, they say that, and then they think they put like some half-naked chick on their comic, and then they're like, oh, well, how come I'm not making Pulido's numbers? Because you're not Pulido. You're not Pulido. You don't have a 30-year career marketing this one thing. It's like, you don't have that rabid fan base that comes with marketing for that long, for existing for that long. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can't just like say, well, I'm gonna put like some half-naked chick on my cover. It's like, oh, how hard could it be? It's difficult because you're not Pulido. You're not Dan Mendoza. You're not making 30 grand in 24 hours off of a toy, based on an IP that he also had been building for like the past 20 years. And here's the thing too, like there's this other artist that I watch, right? So I'm watching her start her art business, and she's at a point where she's like in year 2 of her art business, and she's incredibly frustrated because she's not seeing the gains that she was expecting to see being 2 years into this. So, hey, Melissa, and it's like, and I had to comment on her videos, is like going, look, it's one thing to follow successful people as kind of like, an inspiration type of thing, right? But you gotta remember, it's like if you're talking about someone like Catnip, right? I was watching her for what, like the past 7 years, 10 years? Same thing with Bailey J, right? She's another one. I've been watching her for 10 years. And now it's like, I was watching her when she first like picked up a camera because she was bored at home, and now she makes like 6 figures every time she does a launch, almost every time. Her last one made 6 figures, but that took 10 years to build, of her making thousands of videos. A lot of false starts, I mean, it's, so it's like, you can't just like look at these people now and like going, oh, they're so successful, and how come I'm not making it? Because you're expecting to do in 2 years what they did in 10. I mean, it's like, yeah, Melissa says, man, I've been putting my art on the internet since 2007 and I still haven't seen the big numbers, but I fund a Kickstarter, so I'll take it. Yeah, I've been doing this shit since 97. I predate the internet. And it's like, and even then it's like, it's like, what is it? There was a Chris Rock, a Chris Rock bit that I saw the other day where he was talking about, you're in a classroom. It's like, look, it's like America is like a classroom where it's like you have, it's like you have the 5 kids who are the smartest in the class. You have the other 5 kids who are the dumbest in the class. And then you have the rest of us. Right? And, it's like, you have like, the rest of us are like the B students. So it's like, and it's like, it's kind of like Kickstarter's the same way. It's like you have the 5 people who make most of the money on Kickstarter. You have the other 5 who don't even fund. And then there's the rest of us, and, and it's like, well, I'm talking about like before it became publicly accessible. I know that the internet dates, I think, like what, to the 60s or something. Yeah, I'm not that old. But I'm talking about like, when it first became publicly accessible. When you had to kind of like put your phones on this like weird tablet thing, and then if you were lucky, you were able to like get a connection and then you'd be able to post to a bulletin board or something. It's just kind of like weird like that. Like, I think that was like my first foray into being online, was like the bulletin board days, And then the worst part was that the furry bulletin board that I wanted to be on was in California. So when you had to go online with your phone, you were paying long distance rates because you had to call a California number to get into the bulletin board. It was such a mess back then. Yeah. Let's see. Jim says artists should always remain mindful that the pursuit of financial success holds the danger of losing the love of creation. It can kill creativity and the ability to create beauty from nothing. It's true. Very true. Juju says it's the same mindset some artists have. They want to buy one how to draw book and have everything just click. They don't want to put in the work to learn, but they like to say that artists are naturally talented. Yeah, I mean, is it possible to learn artwork without being talented? Absolutely. There is a very technical aspect to what we do, to what this is, that you can learn how to do it. Now the thing is, if you don't have talent, but the thing is though, is that there is a difference. There is a marked difference between people with talent who learn on top of their talent and the people who just learn the skill. But what is it? Hard work beats talent, type of thing. There's it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want to do the hard work, right? So that Jim, that's money laundering. That's a completely different thing. Those types of artwork, that's money laundering. That has more to do with crime than art. Now, of course, on a side note, um, I am going to be very cautious here on the artwork so that YouTube doesn't get upset over what I'm inking in. So we're just going to do just enough, and then later on I'll ink in the important bits because YouTube is dumb. So yeah, yeah, they're the people, yeah, the people who think they could just buy the how-to book and they think that, oh, now I can sell my stuff in Artist Alley. Oh, so let me go back to my story, right? So yeah, that it's like, so she's complaining, well, not complaining, but she's frustrated that she's not seeing the gains that she thought that she would after 2 years. And here's, so that's the thing, it's like you're trying to like cram 2 years of success that it took other people 10 years, the people that you're watching 10 years to do, right? And and that's kind of the thing you have to be careful with, because there's a lot of videos now of like, oh, how I make $3,000 a convention, or it's like, oh, how I made like $100,000 a year in my art business, right? It's like there's a lot of those videos now, and you have to pay attention. It's like, one, it's very easy to accomplish a lot when you lie about it. It's very easy to look like you're accomplishing a lot when you lie about it. So that's one thing that you kind of have to be careful with a lot of these YouTube videos. Because again, it's like, they say that it's like, oh yeah, I made $100,000, but I started 10 years ago. Or I sell a very particular niche product that is actually pretty generic if you look at it, if you really pay attention. So, we're not, it's kind of like a lot of these Artist Alley girls, which is kind of what this girl that I watch is trying to aspire to be, right? But the thing is, though, is that, on top of her issue that she hasn't been in the game long enough, right? Same thing with the guy who made that video. Okay, so you did videos for a year. You haven't been doing this long enough. And yeah, they haven't been doing it long enough. And then it's like, the kind of things that they're making, like especially the one girl, she's doing like stationary type stuff, right? It's not like she's doing something really personal, like, like comics and stuff, right? She's doing like really generic stationary stuff. And the problem is that she's still at a point where her stuff is too generic, where there is nothing about the work that she's selling that makes me go, oh, it's this artist's work. But the thing is, though, that's not really a guarantee of artwork either, because there are artists who are really popular where their artwork is still incredibly generic too. Like, I'm not dissing Bailey J. This is just my opinion on the artwork that she offers. She does stationary stuff, and I find it incredibly generic. I don't think it's like the funny thing about it is that for as long as I've been watching her like build her art, her art career, which good on her, it's like, she made 6 figures on her last launch. I mean, bravo. I mean, I'm not going to take that and anything away from her for that. That's not my point. But the thing is, though, there is nothing about her artwork that screams Bailey J to me. That it's like if her artwork was like if I was just seeing like examples of her artwork among like other people's artwork, there's nothing about her artwork that'll make me go, oh yeah, that's Bailey J, except for the fact that I recognize the artwork from her videos. Like that's it. There's not really a style there that stands out for me. Like Catnip is another one, right? Like she kind of has a style that it's like, oh yeah, that's Catnip's work, but that's only because I watch her videos. So her videos are incredibly important to her artwork, to the artwork. She has to make the same thing with Bailey J. They have to make the videos in order to connect them with their artwork so that people will buy the artwork, right? Yeah, absolutely, Juju. There are no guarantees. And the but the thing is though, is that if you were just to line up their artwork, like say I didn't watch their stuff for a year, I didn't know any of the artwork that they made, and you just put it down someplace, I don't think I would really recognize their artwork. Maybe Catnip, but definitely not Bailey J. I wouldn't recognize her artwork just from seeing it if I didn't have the videos as a connection. Like Catnip's, so Catnip has more of a very cartoony style. But the funny thing is that there's this other artist, I forgot her name, but she runs a shop. She runs, her store is called the Bun Bun Shop. She does like all these rabbits and stuff, right? I like her, like she does a very similar style, and it's like I like her stuff better than Catnip. Like I think that she has a more solid style that I may be able to recognize if I didn't know what artwork she was, like I didn't know if she was connected to it. But I think like stylistically she has some, or she's from Germany. I forgot her name. Yeah, but like she's from Germany. And I think that she has a more solid style, while Catnip and Bailey J are kind of like a little generic, but because of their YouTube, their content creation on YouTube, I know their artwork. So I don't know if that's really making any sense, but so this other girl who's frustrated, right? I mean, it's like she doesn't have any real style at this point. So, and she's not really saying anything with her artwork either. Like there's, like I said, it's like there's nothing like it's like I said, it's incredibly generic, and it's like, and I think that she kind of has to like her thing is that she kind of has to push her artwork so that it's a little bit more personal, so that it's like then it's like it stops being generic. I mean, I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I said, I'm still kind of like percolating this idea. And also for the fact that following what successful people are doing is ironically enough not necessarily the way to go for success on your own. It's kind of so going back to that guy's video, right? So the only thing that I could really understand what he was kind of like grousing about in the end is that these people are frauds because they're successful, but not in a way that I consider successful as an artist. It's like, oh, if you make YouTube videos, if you're making your money more on YouTube videos than making art, then you're not a successful artist. And again, it's like, oh, that's a weird hill to die on, but okay. But ironically, this guy is finding his notoriety through making a shitty video pointing out like, oh, these artists are not really successful, but they're selling you the idea that they are. So the video that I was watching before I went live, right, was I guess like a critique of that video, because of course he made a viral video and now everybody's critiquing it. And her critique was pretty much saying what I was saying before, that it's like, bro, you're how do you become a successful artist if you don't do the marketing to let people know that you're an artist selling stuff? Yeah, I agree, Juju. He really was coming off as a hater, you know. I mean, because really, it's like, if you actually watched these people, you would know that, like, Kelsey does not say that she's selling you anything. You don't have to buy shit from her. It's like there is no, it's like, oh, buy my program and I'll teach you how to be. She's giving away the information for free. It's like, yeah, is it generic? Yeah, but she's so is, Ken and, Sales Ken and Barbie that I watch. It's all generic shit. Because in the end, marketing is generic. You just have to learn how to apply it to what you're selling. But, Kelsey is just putting it in a way that me as an artist can understand it better. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to do like much of anything with that information. Right, exactly. First thing I would ask him is to define what a successful artist is. People love using terms, but being vague about it. Yeah. Because like I said, to me, it's like a successful artist. I mean, Jesus, at this point, it's like, I consider myself a successful artist because I finished my comic. I finished all 16, penciling all 16 issues of Ego Raven. And it's like, that makes me a successful artist because I did what a lot of other artists don't do. And that's finish their work. It's like, and that probably won't even cross the guy's mind at all. Maybe a successful artist is an artist that can actually do their artwork. There's a lot of people who are artists who because they have to work, they don't have time. They don't even have the time to do their shit as a hobby. I mean, it's, maybe that's what a successful artist is. Can you do your artwork? Then you're successful. The fact that you're doing art at all, it's like the fact that people give up on these hobbies so early on. Maybe that's a successful artist. But the thing is, though, is that we live in a capitalist hellscape that measures everything by how much money you make. And the more money you make means that, oh, you must be successful. And, well, that's one measure, but it's not the measure. Because, like, there's plenty of people who, like, it's like, okay, so what if Polito makes, 6 figures on Lady Death? The shit reads like shit. Nobody's ever going to accuse Polito of being a brilliant writer. So, so that means that, is he successful? Is he not successful? So no, absolutely. With him, without explaining what that is, right? I mean, yeah, it's like he's bringing forth a false argument. I mean, it's like, because it's like Kelsey is not saying if you do this, that, and the other thing, you will be successful. She doesn't say that. And like I said, all her information is free. You don't have to buy anything from her, right? Now, conversely though, because there's always an exception to this rule though. I was following this writer for a while. And, and the thing is though, is that he was selling like plans and books telling you on how to be a successful author, right? like he was selling product for that purpose, how to be a successful writer, how to write a successful fantasy series, how to make money on Amazon, you know, that type of thing with your fantasy series, right? And I remember there was one post that he did on Facebook where he was talking about, you know, doing, you know, like accounting for taxes, doing accounting and whatnot for writers, you know, like it's like, okay. And in the middle of this conversation, he let slip that he owned a Verizon franchise. You could hear the collective car crash noise / record scratch in the chat, you know, in the comments section. And people got mad at him. It's like all this time, it's like, you know, they were saying all this time, you're making us believe that you were making your money from writing. And now you're telling us you have a Verizon franchise. Oh, so many people unsubscribed that day. So many people unsubscribed. You know, and you know, and the guy was confused. He was like, well, I don't understand why that, you know, it's like, look, I am telling you, you know, this, that, and the other thing, and how to become a successful, you know, writer and this, that, and the other thing. But I don't know, like, where to really put the blame on this. Yeah, Juju says really only the artist can determine what it means to be successful because it all depends on what their goals are. Right, exactly. Because my idea of being a successful artist is definitely what not that guy thinks is a successful artist, right? And right, so with this writer, right, he didn't understand, like, you know, so like I said, I don't know where exactly if there's any blame to be put here, because is it really misleading, or were your expectations did your expectations not line up to the reality of what he was doing? Was he really being misleading? Right? Although a part of me kind of says yes. Because I was one of the people like kind of like, you own a fucking Verizon franchise. You know? You know, and it's like, yeah, and it's like, and I think it hits a little differently with this guy because of the fact his shit was literally called how to be a successful writer, how to sell a successful fantasy series. Like that was his thing. He didn't say that, he didn't put out a book that says how to be a successful, you know, how to supplement your income with a Verizon franchise. He didn't say that. You know, he only, like, it was only like by chance he happened to just admit to that. Like, it wasn't him being transparent, because then he would have mentioned it already and it wouldn't have been such a surprise to everybody. You know, some people don't have the time to even use his method because they have to make money to live with a different job. Would his method work with an income from a primary source? You know, you see, and that was the thing, right? It's like, because he was selling his idea as kind of like something different, that I can understand why people got mad. You know, where it's like, oh, you know, I thought that you were a bona fide author. I didn't know that you had, you know, you had this going on. So it's like, so is the creative work, is the writing a supplement? Is the writing is that your side hustle? Or is the Verizon franchise is your primary income, and the artwork and the writing is your side hustle? But he's selling it like it's his primary source of income. So maybe in that case, I would say, yeah, I kind of felt like I was being scammed with how he talked about, what he was doing and how he was selling it. Now, mind you, not that doesn't mean that I didn't take some things that he was doing and actually implemented it. I mean, take what you can use and leave the rest. But but it's like, yeah, but with Kelsey and everybody, it's the same thing. It's like you have to take what you can use and leave the rest, because it's like I don't give a shit about Notion or whatever that planning thing is. So why would I go out of my way to make Notion templates to sell online? I have no interest. It has nothing. I have no interest in that. It doesn't supplement me in any way. So I'm not going to waste my time doing that. She actually enjoys making that shit, so she makes it and she puts it online to sell. So it's like, so okay, so but I mean, but I kind of understand also this faux concern for the youths. This YouTube guy was talking, it was kind of like trying to make it sound, but all these young artists are going to see these videos and get like a false sense of success, from watching. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what happens when you watch successful people. That's kind of how it works. It's like you watch successful people and you end up with a little bit of an overblown sense of how you can accomplish what they did. Again, it's like everybody looking at Polito and thinking, oh, I could do that. It's like, can you really? You got 30 years? It's like Melissa says, someone in the comics community told me that the reason I wasn't growing was because I didn't draw X-Men, but I don't like X-Men, so why would I draw that? That's a twofold question. That's a twofold comment, because he's not wrong in a certain way. Let me explain. So we were talking about New York Comic Con, right? And it seems like the people who had no problem making money and getting attention at New York Comic Con were all the people in the artist alley who actually worked for Marvel and DC and whatnot, and have been on like mainstream books and whatnot. Like they had no problem. They didn't have to do anything. To use your example, they worked on X-Men, and now they're kind of able to ride that notoriety. Well, it's not notoriety. It's the fact that they worked on X-Men. So so the other side of that is that what they were probably saying is like, well, you don't do fan art. You're not doing anything that people don't recognize. So of course, people aren't going to come to your table. You don't have a picture of Deadpool. You're not drawing Harley Quinn. You're not drawing the X-Men. You're not drawing whatever Naruto or whatever fan art is really popular. Of course, nobody's going to come to your table. You're not drawing anything anybody recognizes. So so it's like, yeah. So on one hand, he's like, well, yeah, you might be right. But also the thing is too, is that you're not interested in that shit. So why? So that has nothing to do with you. I'm sure, it's like we all had our moments where we were trying to do fan art for conventions. I know I had my whole fan art era. And I stopped doing it almost just as quickly as I did it, because I got tired of attracting people who only wanted to see Deadpool and Harley Quinn and X-Men. And it's like, I don't want these people. These are not the people I want to attract. So I stopped doing the fan art. Which also brings up, another question. Not all audiences are equal. Yeah, right. And that's not who would like my comics. Exactly. Anyway, so why try to court that audience? That's exactly what happened to me. It's like, I mean, I realized very quickly, it's like, I don't want these people. I kind of had this idea. It's like, well, maybe I'm doing the wrong fan art. It's like, you know what? In the end, it's like, no. You know what? I don't want people who only want fan art, who won't come to my table unless it's fan art. I don't want those people, because you know what? I don't want to try to make this conversion. It's like, one, I'll be wasting my time drawing fan art, and then I have to waste my time trying to like convert these people to a comic that in the end they're not interested in, because they're only there for the fan art. I mean, maybe I'm kind of dismissing it too much, because conversely, there's always a conversely, right? Let me tell you a story about Sam. So Sam is a friend of ours from way back. It's like, he started doing comics in the 90s as well. And he does this comedy, like this all ages comedy comic called There's an Alien in My Toilet. And I'm sure you've seen him. It's Sam Vera from Catch the Crazies. He does a talk show, an interview show on his Catch the Crazies channel. I mean, I've played the bump for him a while, for a bit, and especially now, like, so he brought back Duty after not doing comics for 10 years. He came back and he brought back There's an Alien in My Toilet. And he was having such a hard time selling the book, which surprised me, because I thought that book was going to blow up on Kickstarter. I really did. Well, yeah, exactly, Juju. Exactly. You might as well change careers if you follow that advice blindly. You can make more money if you were an accountant, especially with comics. You can it's easier to make money elsewhere than in comics. So when people complain about how much money they're not making on Kickstarter, I just find it really funny, because it's easier to make money elsewhere than in comics, right? So he is doing There's an Alien in My Toilet. I thought that thing was going to blow up on Kickstarter. It didn't. It frustrated him, and he left Kickstarter. And he started doing conventions again, kind of like having a really slow, rough start with the book. And mind you, it's like, look, he loves the book. He loves the character. There is absolutely no reason why he should stop doing it. But, it's like, you want to go to a convention and try to make money. So it's like, okay. So what he started doing, which I thought, which first started as an accident, like it was just something for him to do when he started doing an art channel where he started drawing Duty in like as different characters. Like people would like prompt him for like, oh, draw Duty as a vampire, draw Duty as Frankenstein, then draw Duty as Thundercats, or something like that. So, and then all of a sudden he started to have this collection of his character dressed up as all these other characters, kind of like Duty cosplay, right? So his alien character is doing cosplay, and on a lark, he started bringing those images to conventions as prints. And that really started getting him attention at conventions. Oh, give me an alien Duty as Naruto, or as Goku. He started doing like all these themes, right? And the more cosplay that he did for his character, the more attention he got at conventions. That now, so now he offers sticker packs. Stickers are like really popular. So now he offers up the characters as all these stickers. So yeah, so it's like, oh, so it's like, yeah, he has Duty as Deadpool, and now he's beginning to really see some traction in at going to conventions, and it's such, and I thought that was such a clever pivot, where it's like he's doing fan art, but not really, because it's his character dressed up as Duty. I mean, it's his character Duty dressed up as in cosplay as these characters, but it's still his character. So, which also helps him get around the whole like copyright, IP copyright thing. So it's still his character, but now it's like people are interested in his character because now the character is dressed up like Deadpool. I think he even did him dressed up as Harley Quinn too. So now he gets now he's growing his audience. Now the thing is though is that he had said something interesting about that. He stole Pilstover. No, I don't think he stole Pilstover, but it's the same concept as Pilstover, right? The fact that you have Pulsies dressed up as I have the book. I have the book on my shelf here. That he dressed Pulsey up as vested as all these different characters, right? But it was still Pulsey. Look, she even did an Eagle Raven. I have to, now that I have the shelf, I have to get a case for it, a little frame for it. She did Pulsey as Eagle Raven, so it's like, why not, right? So it was like a really clever spin. Now, he did say on a show that as much as he's seeing success with cosplay Duty, when it comes to his book, though, it's still a hard sell. Because it's like people will see, oh, let me get Pulsey is dead. Let me get Duty as Deadpool, right? And then he would say, oh, this is a character from my comic. And then all of a sudden, now he has to pitch. Now, like his stickers and his prints, he doesn't have to say a word. They fly off the table. But his comic, now he has to pitch. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, okay, now I have to convince you to buy my book. And, and I guess it depends on how you feel about that, So, going back to your whole, because you didn't draw the X-Men, right? I mean, it's like, yeah, so it's like on one hand, the guy was right, but also on the other hand, it's like, well, technically it's a lot easier to make money doing other things too. I mean, in the end, it's also very relevant to what it is we're trying to accomplish with what we're doing. It's like what Jim says, the key to success is to find something you love to do and find someone to pay you to do it. And yes, Juju, and absolutely, there are no guarantees. I mean, and if there's, so, this guy who made this video, right? I mean, it's like I said, I think he has a faux concern for young artists who may see those videos and think that, oh, I can start a sticker shop. I can do this. I can sell, my prints, and it'll be the same thing. And it's like, no, it's not. There are no guarantees. Like I said, everyone could follow Kelsey step by step, and we would all have completely different results from all doing the same thing. I mean, it's like, look, technically we are all doing the same thing. We're all selling comics, right? And it's like, and we're all having successes of varying degrees. Are any of us performing like Polito? Absolutely not. Is any of us performing like Dan Mendoza? Absolutely not. So it's like, it's like study it's good to look at successful people, but also at the same time realize that there's limitations to what you're looking at. Again, it's the whole survivorship bias, right? Where it's like, it's not really the people who succeed you have to be watching, it's the people who fail. Like, what happened there? What made people not make it? You know, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this since 92, and the road is long and full of bodies. We have seen thousands of creators stop doing this for one reason or another. You know, and yeah, it's like there are no guarantees. And I think that really needs to be stressed, where it's like, look, you can work really hard and still not meet whatever threshold you were looking to cross. I mean, I don't know why this girl thought, this other, you know, the one that I was talking about, where it's like she thought that she could become successful in 2 years. Like, why 2 years? Because it sounds long. Try 30. Try 10. You know? Oh yes. Also remember, the person you're looking up to might own a Verizon franchise. And it's like, look, there's plenty of that too. There's plenty of people out there who says, oh, just do what I do and you'll be successful. And they skip telling a lot of things. You know, they all of a sudden, they're not mentioning that they got like a $200,000 loan from their parents, you know, to start their business. Or it's like, you know, the dipshits online that go, oh, I bought my first house at 21. What stopped you? You know, and it's like, well, not having parents that put down the down payment, for one, right? And then gave me a second apartment to use as rental income. You know, I didn't have that, you know, or something like that, you know? I mean, you know, you have to kind of like, yeah, some people never talk about their failures too. Yeah, exactly. You know, because those are just as important, because you need to know what doesn't work as much as what does work. You know, and here's the thing. What doesn't work usually leaves a more valuable trail. You learn from failures, not successes. You know, it's like, right. Oh, they're not wanting to live in Chicago was why you didn't buy a house at 21. I mean, that's fair too. You know, that's fair too. You know, I mean, it's like, look, you know, it's like, look, the only reason I live pretty much rent free is because my parents thought of buying a house in the 70s. You know, I mean, you know, and trust me, it's like when you don't have that expense, it makes it a lot easier for me to do this. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, yeah, it's, you know, yeah, I mean, so I think, like, if anything, yeah, I think that the real issue is that that it's very easy to watch videos of these successful creators, using the term loosely, because again, it's depending on what you consider a success or not. It's different from person to person. You know, yeah, it's very easy to have an inflated sense of what you can accomplish in what amount of time. There was another interview where it was two people from art, like one person was interviewing another artist alley person. So the show was about doing artist alleys. I think it was like the Mulcana, I think that's her name. That's her YouTube channel, Mulcana. You know, she's been doing Artist Alley for the past 10 years, right? So she does a she does a podcast where she interviews other artist alley people to get like tips and tricks and you know all that stuff. And you know it's kind of like, you know, and the thing is like, and the one thing that they all kept saying is how absolutely saturated the artist alley market has become. You know, the artist alley scene has become. They said that there was there, and even she says, you know, from before COVID to now after COVID, it's a completely different scene. It is so, she says it's so competitive, right? Um, you know, it's yeah, it's like everybody, all these kids who didn't have anything to do during COVID all started making their their stationary businesses to do artist alleys, you know, and then just completely flooded the market. It's incredibly, you know, like I said, it's incredibly competitive. It's a lot harder to be successful at it because you know, it's like, and also like everybody's booth game, table game is like completely through the roof. Everybody doing, you know, building castles on top of their tables, you know. It's like I don't know, it's just like, yeah, like everybody is just like, yeah. So I think that, you know, and I think that, you know, a lot of kids see that, go, oh, I'll just do artist alley because all these people are successful at it, without, you know, really thinking about like, well, are they successful at it, or is it just, you know, on the internet nobody knows you're a dog, you know, that, you know, it's kind of like the whole thing with New York Comic Con, right? I'm looking at everybody's feeds. I'm thinking everybody's making money. I'm thinking like everybody's having a good time. And it turns out it was a dud. It was a dud show when you start talking to people behind the scenes. It's like, oh yeah, I barely made any money. Hardly anybody was there. People just wanted freebies. You know, it's like all the booths, all the professional booths were hogging up. You know, everybody was, you know, looking for famous people, or they would only stay with the big booths and you know all that, you know. Yeah, but I didn't get that from looking at anybody's social media. So maybe that's part of the problem too, that we shouldn't be gauging anything or basing any decisions on social media, you know, because social media is everybody's highlight reel. You know, even when they're trying to say, oh, well, things weren't that bad, you know, they're still sugarcoating it in a certain way for, yeah, they're still sugarcoating it for the audience of social media. Oh, yeah, Juju says, thank you. Some people think you're successful just because you bought a table. I mean, really, it's like the table is the easiest part. Oh my God. And even then for anime conventions, it's like the fact that everything runs on a lottery system now. It's like Jesus, you're successful just getting, if you get through the lottery and get a table at an anime show. You know, because if there is a show I want to try, it's Anime NYC. You know, it's an anime show that they hold at the Javits as well. But again, it's a curated show. You have to win a lottery to get the table. Even for like the exhibitors, it's like, oh, it's a lotto system. You know, and it's like, I find that so obnoxious because it's like I understand that they don't want the same people hogging up the tables year after year after year. They want to be able to give people a chance to to vend at the show, you know. But the lottery, there has to be a better way to do it than the lottery. I was like, did the con bubble burst yet? It feels like cons just aren't as lucrative as they used to be. Depends on who you are, I guess. If you drew the X-Men, yeah, they are. If you're schmucks like us, then yeah, we're having a hard time. You know, and it's like, yeah, I think Juju says, like, yes, it seems that most cons are celebrity focused. And I think that that's part of the problem. The more conventions become that way, and they've been on that trajectory for years, that the more they become celebrity focused, media focused, big company focused, right? The more people have this weird they have like this weird fear of media that they don't know, because honestly, that's the biggest difference that I've seen between when I was really doing conventions and now, is that back in the day, people were really curious about seeing new artwork. Like if they saw a book they didn't know, they were really excited about it. Like back in the day, people were excited if you didn't draw the X-Men. Well, it's like, give me something I don't know, right? But now it's like, oh, you didn't draw the X-Men? Then who are you then? You know, it's like, why should I buy your book? You know, I don't want your book. You know, and then it's like the whole thing about, oh, if it didn't come from a big company, if it wasn't, it must not be good. You know, kind of like the whole like vanity press stigma. You know, it's like, if you're not with a big publisher, you can't be any good. You can't be serious. And people just won't buy. Let's see. Sound Effects says, I think if you create a lore to your art that you can reel in people for Artist Alley or any type of art, you're selling people love a story. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's kind of like, but that's marketing, right? That's trying to figure out how to create your story to sell your story, right? And or it's like, or as the way Sales Cat and Barbie say, it's like you have to connect what you're selling, like your story, to whatever it is the person in front of you is looking for. You have to connect your story to them somehow, even if you don't know them, right? And yeah, it's like it's but that's also a benefit of going to conventions, is that you get to practice your game. You know, you get to practice and see, it's like, oh, if I talk like this, if I say this, how do people react to it? When I pitch my book, do people seem interested, or do they kind of like get turned off? Does it seem like my pitch is too long? Do people understand what I'm talking about when I talk about my story? Who would you recommend to watch on YouTube or ask with convention experience? Who would have advice on how to choose what cons to do, what you need to do to prepare for a con? Well, like I said, I listened to Mulcana. Hold on. Let me look her up. Hold on. Who is she? Let's see. YouTube. Let me look at my list here. Hold on. Oh, okay. So let me. You know what? Can I? Okay. So I like I said, I watch a lot of Artist Alley, like more like anime kind of Artist Alley. Let me see. Let me see. Can I? Oh, I can't share a screen. Okay. So, let's see. So Mulcada, Mual. Let me see. Let me see if I can put her. Let's see if I can put her in the chat. Hold on. Okay. So this is the main one that I watch. Like I said, she does. I'm putting the link, the YouTube channel in the chat. She does a lot of Artist Alleys, but the thing is, though, she's mostly based out in California. So, you know, yeah, it's like let's see, and then who else do I watch? Where's my subscriptions? Let's see. Then let me see. So then there's let's see, single sploot. Okay. She's a smaller vendor, but these are not comic book people, though. Just to just to kind of like put it out there. These are not comic book people. These are stationary people. I haven't really come across a comic book person that I watch regularly from, like conventions. Let's see. Who else? Yeah, that's kind of, there's really, let's see. Oh, here's Bun Bun. I guess just to show you what she does, but again, one, she's German, doesn't do comics. It's kind of ironic that most of the people that I watch are not comic book people. They're like I said, they're artist alley people. Now, when it comes to like trying to figure out what conventions to go to, like in terms for comics, I mean, that you see, because the thing is that what's a good convention and a bad convention depends on you. Because like I said, like New York Comic Con is always a bad convention for us, even though we're comic book people. So so it's like, it's kind of like, unfortunately, you have to kind of like do a convention. Although if you just want to do like general stuff, like how to prepare for a convention and what to sell, those the links that I put up would help in a way. But conventions, might not be your answer. That's the thing. I mean, that's kind of like the tricky thing with all this, because it really depends on what you're selling, right? Whether how you engage with people, your location, because sometimes your location table, the location of your table at a convention can make or break you. Something as that's small of a variable, right? I mean, it's like, then it's like, like the state, the time of year. Like I'm currently, like me personally, even though I sell comics, I'm actually looking into different venues, like going back to anime conventions, like going back to doing fantasy conventions, fantasy and sci-fi conventions. I'm also looking at literary conventions, like booksellers, like novels. It's like looking. It's like, could I sell a comic there? The fact that I do have a novel in the works. Could I combine the two? Could I work at those? Could I do something at those conventions instead? Like I said, the more comic book conventions kind of move away from actual comics, and it's just like big companies and corporations and media and celebrities, the less that those attract an audience that would be interested in my work. Although I've never tried Dragon Con, I've never tried Heroes Con. And then there was oh, well, yes, I'll find out. Yes, Michael. There's actually yes, there's one that I will be going to, not as a vendor, but just to scope it out. It's in Baltimore. It's called Monster Erotica Con, and I'm going to that convention as a not a vendor, as just a con goer, because I've never seen a convention, like I've never seen a book convention before, and I've definitely never seen anything that's specialized in this before. So I am definitely going to try to see if this is something that I could kind of figure out how to kind of like get into as a vendor. Juju says sometimes you have to fight for attention. Some people just see the art and they come to you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's like, yeah, so what makes a good convention and what doesn't? It's like, it really, I can't even say, that's because, we go to a convention because it was highly recommended, and then we just happen to go to the year where no one shows up. Because I swear to God, if I had a dime for every time we go to a con and hear people go, oh, it was really good last year. I mean, that was like my experience at Baltimore Comic Con. Oh, it was really good last year. The years when you're here, it's like, try not to be. It's like, the cons are really good when you're not here. But the second you're here, then it's not good. I mean, it's just kind of you know what, the phrase of the day, there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. Even if someone says it's a good show, it might have been a good show when they went, but when you go, it might not be a good show. That's just that's just how that goes. Really. Yeah. But also it's like, like, I know that some comic book people, depending on the type of book that you're doing, like, I know that horror conventions might be an option too. I've seen some people go to horror conventions, or like those specific Halloween conventions. Sometimes you kind of have to look outside the box when it comes to that. I mean, what's funny is that you would think that I would do really well at furry conventions, but I don't. Especially since a lot of them have leaned more towards like fursuiting. Like, I don't know, like my books and my art just doesn't like have the same appeal, So it's like, yeah, so just because it looks like, in theory, it should be good for you, sometimes it's not. And usually, like, the more successful shows are the oddballs you never would have thought of. So, are you good? Sell yourself. No, I suck at it. That's kind of the thing too that I never really got over. And it's like, yeah, I should, if I go back to conventions, it is something that I really have to look in. I really have to work at is, I have to sell myself, because then I'm wasting my time being at a convention. Let's see. Juju says, focus on increasing your odds of being successful is a good way to look at it. Yeah, exactly. So, we're already past the second hour mark. Wow, that went fast. I didn't think. I thought we were still at an hour and a half. But I guess, but you know what? I think I got a lot done, in the 2 hours, especially for talking at the same time. Luckily, YouTube won't give me a hassle with this. I kind of don't, it's like, I don't think so. I think we kind of left it, pretty vague, or at least very light. So, so YouTube won't have a problem with it. But I think it's, I think we accomplished a lot. It's like, I'm liking the way this is coming out. I'm very happy with it. I mean, I'm just really happy to work traditionally again. It's like, just to do something different away from inking, from working in Clip Studio all the time. I get a lot of work done in it, but it's like, there are just some days I just miss doing artwork by hand, and this at least is going to give me a lot of opportunities to get. It's like, oh, thank you, Juju. He says, like, I always have great discussions. Thank you. I try. It's like, look, it's it's like, we're, like I said, it's, I always compare, I always compare the the stream, the live stream. Oh, now I don't know where this goes. Oh, that's why. Because I have to do this and I have to do that. Okay, I have to move my camera. I always compare this show, this live stream to like being at a convention, except you don't have to worry about if you're blocking my table or not. So yeah, I agree, Michael. Watching the show while getting art done is a great time. It's like there are just sometimes it's like I really do like, it's like I go, oh, I don't want to do a vlog today, I don't want to do a stream today, but then it's like I kind of power through it, and then it's like it's like I never regret doing the show. I never do, because we really do have a great time in the chat. We have great conversations, and I'm just really glad that that we do have a good time. You could be doing anything else at this moment, and you decide to spend it with me. So I'm really humbled by that. So thank you so much for everybody who showed up today. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat: Juju, Michael, Melissa, Efrain, Jim, Vess. It's who did I miss? Oh, Gothic Lolita, Okay Fern. I think I got everybody. Oh, Allison. Thank you so much. Dumb Dodor. Thank you so much. Like I said, you could be doing anything else, but you decided to spend some time with me. Thank you. And thank you so much to also all my beautiful eyeball people watching. Thank you so much. It's like I hope that you got a lot of work done as well in this 2 hours, because I like I said, I'm very happy with the way this piece is coming out. Probably I'll work on it some more because I do have to finish it. It is a commission after all. So I'm probably just gonna finish it, and but at least we got a good start. At least we got a good start going. So there you go. So yeah. So also, if you notice, it's like I kind of tweaked my overlay a bit. I did say the last time that I wanted to kind of get rid of the clutter a bit. It's not that there was it's not that it wasn't too bad. All I did was kind of take the bar out that was here and just clean it out. So as you can see, both of my comics are on Webtoon, so you can check it out there if you're watching this on the replay, or even just watching and you don't know. Ego Raven and Tall Tales is on Webtoon. Ego Raven updates every Tuesday. Tall Tales updates every Thursday. And I just want to thank everybody who has I guess subscribed or liked. I really don't know how Webtoon works. Excuse me, but but thank you everybody who subscribed to it and gave Ego Raven a 10 rating and gave Tall Tales a 7 rating. I mean, it's still really good, but thank you so much. So yeah, so Tuesdays, Thursdays. Oh my goodness. So you know what? That's it for I think that's it for today. Thank you again. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. If you want to learn more about me and my artwork and all my campaigns, upcoming campaigns and everything, like I said, links are in the comments and in the show notes. You can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook. If you are interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. Also, if you want to see a sneak peek of the finished version of this piece that I'm working on, that's actually going on my Patreon. I revived my Patreon because I'm on Webtoons. So now I'm making it a point to do more posting on Patreon as much as I can. So if you want to see the finished version of this piece, I will be posting it onto Patreon. For people to check. If you want to subscribe and check that out, I do have a tier just for House of Bob / sketchbook stuff. So that's where that's going. So a censored version will probably end up on Facebook. If you want to see the non-censored version, that'll be on Patreon. And remember that you could also check out my YouTube here. If you're watching me anywhere else, like on Facebook or on Twitch, you could also come on over to my channel at YouTube at Daphne Lage Art, where you can see 600 plus videos in my archive of how I make my comics, any past live streams you might have missed, and anything, you know, like, and art supply reviews and stuff like that. I have over 600 videos. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, especially and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever any of my live streams go live. And remember that you can also catch me on the Indie Comics Network as well. Oh, there we go. And Indie Comics right here. So on the Rage Into the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, so we could talk more about comics and whatever rambly bits in between. You can also read Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free as well, uploading every day, Monday through Friday, on my website at egoworks.com. If you we're further along on the website than we are on Webtoons, but read it wherever you prefer. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can check out the link to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Mondays through Fridays, and will also be back on Kickstarter on Monday, October 28th, with the first 4 issues of Tears of the Mother collected in its first trade paperback volume. So again, link is in the chat and in the show notes. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I really appreciate it. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much. I never have a quippy ending for the show like I do for the vlogs. I really should think of something, but I don't know. I don't know. Just, you know what? How about be better tomorrow than you were today? How about that? Let's just do that. It's like, be better today than you were yesterday, and be better tomorrow than you were today. You know what? Just yeah. We'll just leave it at that. So thank you so much, everybody. And I will see you on Friday on the vlogs at 11 a.m. Thank you so much. And see you next time. Bye.
You are all weirdos. Ugh.